Hey YouTube, welcome to Grounded Roots Healing. I'm Jason, I'm an alchemist, and I am sitting here in sort of central western Alberta, heading to work in an undisclosed location. You may be able to hear this roaring water, and I've got my feet. I'm traveling, so I decided to stick my feet in the water here, ground myself, which I realize is weird behavior. I don't care at this point. It's an absolutely gorgeous day, although there are, looks like thunderclouds headed this way, so I'll have to keep this one short. But yesterday evening, I ended up in Calgary, Alberta, which is where Mr. Donald Trump and the other 6 leaders of the so-called G7 landed yesterday. And for some reason, I was forced to spend the night in town, which normally I'd just get a car at the airport, but of course there's no vehicles to rent when there's that many important people coming. So I did some grid work. Now, I don't know if it's just a coincidence, but I suspect not. So this adventure that I'm on is getting interesting for sure. And I've been making my way north slowly because I have a little bit of time, and stopping at places like this, which is unbelievably beautiful. And, you know, I flew in. I had to go through that airport yet again, in the cattle car section of the airplane, as usual. That's normally where I am, in the back of the plane. And the Matrix does its usual thing. That, for those of you who don't know, that system is designed to suppress us, keep our energy low. Every part of that flying process is designed that way. All the lineups, the searches, the checks, the invasion of your space, cramming you together on a plane. They often will send agents of the Matrix in high numbers in those places as well. But, you know, my ability to sense things has always been extremely good. It's part of what they would diagnose with the autism assessment that I've received as a disability or dysfunction. But in reality, in my opinion, it's just the way we are. There's nothing wrong with you if you have what people in this 3D world call autism. You have extremely sensitive everything. It's heightened senses. So, for example, I have every sense of my body is above, I don't know, above average. It's just really sensitive. Emotionally sensitive, physically sensitive, to touch, to temperature changes, to sound especially, but also like smell, taste, the whole thing. I'm a super taster, which makes me a very good cook, but it also made me extremely picky as a child. That's why autistic kids tend to be, because we taste everything extremely good. So these were always good, and now they're going to a whole new level. And I'm starting to realize that is part of this process. The process of ascension is increasing the sensitivity of these things. So like I said, I've always been sensitive, but I couldn't see auras. And since I've trained myself and my vibration has increased and I've healed, I'm starting to be able to see them. And the more I practice it, the stronger it gets. This is just improved sight. That's all this is. You're seeing energy outside the visual, the normal visual spectrum that most people can see it. So it makes you special. You're special. You're able to do things that most people cannot do. Now the downside of this is the 3D matrix knows this. So it makes the 3D matrix almost unbearable for people like us. If you're uncomfortable and your senses are being bombarded like crazy, then instead of being in environments like this where you're uplifted, it keeps you suppressed. And why would they want to keep you suppressed? Flies landing on me. Because if you don't stay suppressed, you ascend. So this has been increasing, and I noticed yesterday something new. So I was sitting, doing what I usually do, which is dropping into my own little world, the world of Jason, inside my mind, inside my own awareness, because there's so few people out there to interact with that are actually going to bring you up. It's more often that you get drawn down, even with people who mean well. They can be overtaken by low vibrational entities and used to get to you. So I tend to go inward and not interact too much. But I was sitting there doing that with my earphones in, listening to music or whatever it is that helps me stay grounded, and I noticed a lot of auras. Now, I wasn't sure if it was just the situation, with more people ascending, or if that my ability to sense them is getting stronger, which I suspect that's what it is, or a little of both. But I noticed a lot, and it was encouraging for me, because if there's a lot of auras to be seen, that means there's a lot of people that can expand their auras, which means that they're not agents of the matrix. So maybe my percentage was off. Maybe there's less of them than I thought there was. And that encouraged me yesterday, because I was sitting behind someone in the plane, and when you're jammed in the corner of a plane, not much else to do, I tend to work on things like visualizing auras. So the gentleman in front of me was follically challenged, let's say. And this is nothing's an accident, so this was on purpose. But at first I couldn't see anything. But as I looked closer and closer, I noticed that his aura was so tight to the skin that if he had hair, I wouldn't have been able to see his aura. And then that made me think, well, how many the other people with hair have these auras that are super tight to their skin that I just can't see it. So now I was thinking that these were maybe possibly agents, but I think my estimation might be off on that part. So it's encouraging, and I thank my follically challenged friend for showing me that yesterday. Now, with these heightened senses, it's only going to increase. So eventually, I'll get to the point where I'll be able to see the auras on not just your head, but surrounding your entire body. And then you can't hide. It'll be obvious. And it's coming for sure. It's slowly increasing. Every time I go out into public, I seem to be able to see a little bit more. And that is my purpose. To increase these senses to the point where I can use them to navigate the world. In this game that we're in, that isn't to be taken too seriously. Oh, maybe it rained out. Oh well. So, I don't know how many more of these videos I'm going to do. I haven't been really compelled to make many of these recently, and I think I'm just going to do them as they come to me. When I'm in a position like this, I felt like coming here to make one. Now it looks like it's going to rain, so I think I'll stop it. But it's interesting times we're in. If you can get to the point where you can balance the seriousness of everything, where you can have fun and playful and understand that this is a game, and when things need to be taken seriously so you can advance through the game, you can do that. This is when you're learning how to play the game, how to switch back and forth from this carefree, childlike nature to seriousness only for the sake of advancing through the game, and then drop back into that childlike understanding of how this stuff works. And I know that is the objective to it. And then you're out of it completely. You're out of it completely. You can look at this situation that I'm in where I have to go back to work and say to yourself, there must be a reason for it. And to have fun and enjoy things like this while you're having to go through and do maybe more serious things, which aren't really serious at all. But you have to approach them in a serious manner in order to advance. So you can't just F everything off and expect everything to get better. It's not exactly how it works. You have to play the game. And playing the game without getting drawn into it is exactly where we all want to be. And I'm making progress. I'm not there. So I'm no guru. I'm no genius. Other than that we all are gurus and geniuses, but in our own way. But I am here learning, and this is another big lesson. But I should go before that thing gets here, because this part of the world, there's grizzly bears, a lot of black bears. I see tracks on the sandbar here, but also these massive thunderstorms that very often dump very large size hail on people, and I'd like to avoid that. Anyway, I think I'll leave it there. Like I always say, I hope this video finds you well. I love you all, and we'll see you soon.